October 17th, 1971. Buffalo, New York. Jobs you could apply for, and then the Army, if you signed up, you were guaranteed training in the specific job. They greet you off the bus, and basically they take everything you have that's civilian clothing or anything, you dumped it all out. They let you keep a couple of toiletries. You got shots, you got physical exams, you got your uniform, bedding, stuff. Break you down, but then build you back up, you know? Yeah, in the Army, I mean, I was an armored crewman, so we were training on tanks and weapons and maintenance and driving them. And I mean, we also received shooting, you know, M16s, pistols, hand grenades. I think adapted all right. You know, I'm not gonna lie, at first it was, you know, you're a little nervous and scared, and you're thrown into a group with kids from all over the country. I mean, you miss home and stuff at first, but then you start making friendships and connections. I was in Fort Hood, Texas. We got activated to go to Desert Shield, and that turned into Desert Storm. It was the Persian Gulf War. So then we were in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait. I just remember being 19 years old, wondering, is this it? You know, is this how it's going to end? And having pride, knowing that you're doing the right thing. I guess I wouldn't say I saw too many casualties. That, I mean, a guy in our unit got killed, but we'd all call him Pops because we were age, you know, 18 years old, 19 years old. But then when we came home and then you see his wife and kids that he had, realize they don't have a dad anymore. That was kind of hard. But the destruction and stuff, to me, I guess it doesn't bother me because it's part of war. Oh yeah, you definitely, I mean, you build a friendship with people. You got to trust these people with your life. I mean, they got your back, you got theirs. I mean, I had friends from Nebraska, from Tennessee, a friend of mine that you go to his house and stuff when we were in Fort Hood. We'd just go out there for a 4-day weekend or what have you. So I'm from California. You meet from all over, and you're all young people, so you have a bond. They had free mail. You could get mail, and there was no cell phones. There was no internet. You had to write a letter, and you could write it, and you didn't have to put postage on it, but it would take about a month to get a reply, because you'd mail something out. It'd take like 2 weeks for them to get it, and then about 2 weeks for it to come back to you by the time they found you wherever you were in the desert. They had phones, but you would get once a month maybe, and you'd have to drive about an hour and a half, 2 hours to the rear, and you would be in line for probably 2-3 hours to get on the phone for about 15 minutes. I still remember you'd have to make a collect call home, talk to someone. So then I called my dad and I left 15 minutes worth of messages on his order, you know. Yeah. And the poor guy probably got like a $200. Oh, we'd just hang out, just whatever young people do. You went to movies. You're like I said, you're a kid. There's recreation places on post, you know, like a lake and stuff, so you go there.
How did you return home?
By plane.
And how was it, that feeling, I guess?
No, it was good because we went in Desert Storm. I mean, it doesn't get a lot of publicity or what have you, because people say it was a quick war, it was a 100-hour war. We were over there for months, and when we went in, liberated Kuwait, you know, the Iraqis, I mean, we basically knocked them on their backside. So the country was really proud, and I think goes back to Vietnam era where they weren't welcomed back, and I think the country was feeling guilty for that. And so when we came back, it was really, really nice.
How were you received by both your family and community?
Oh yeah, it was welcomed. Yeah, great feeling.
How did you readjust back to civilian life?
It's a little weird. I mean, like when I got out, called to get a job for like a landscaping company, and they're like, well, have you ever operated the, and I just say like X3000 lawnmower, and I'm like, no, and they're like, oh, well, we need someone with experience, and I'm thinking, here I am, I drove a tank that's worth millions of dollars, and this person won't trust me to drive hard. Like, you wanted to say, what's wrong with you people? Just give me a chance. But for the most part, though, everything was fine.
Have you remained in contact with any old friends or fellow veterans?
Like I said, you didn't have the Facebook or the Twitter or the social media that you have nowadays. It would be so much easier, and I don't do that anyways, so I'm not on it to try to look anybody up. But it was hard because you get out, but this person, your buddy, stays in, and then next thing you know, all of a sudden he's getting transferred to a different place. And
what have you done since separating from the military?
A correction officer at Attica prison, a wife and 3 daughters. Like with the way the world is today, and the way some people are in this country, you almost wish that they could see how bad other people have it, good of a country we have. You know, when you see that part of the world and how those people were living, and it makes you appreciate what we have. I just wish that other people could realize that.
What are some life lessons you learned from the military service?
To be responsible, to have some discipline, and it teaches you to stand up for yourself. Any veteran that served never wants another war. Like, I would never want to see anybody have to fight again. Even when we invaded Afghanistan and Iraq after 2011 and stuff, there was a feeling of guilt because I was there 10 years earlier, and it was like, could we have done something that would have stopped this? I looked at it as the guys that are over there at that time were the kids writing me letters when I was overseas. And it just, you feel a sense of guilt because you don't want anybody to get hurt. And so I guess we got to stand up for ourselves too. This is the greatest country in the world. Yeah, we have problems, but when you see stuff out there, you see how other countries treat their people, a step back and not just work for a common goal. To realize, you know, the military, some people are against the military, we should never have it, but you also need that. There's bad people out there, and they would love nothing better than to take our country, whether it's wipe it off the face of the earth, but we need the military also to stand up for our young people, our older people that can't do anything.